Hey guys, welcome to another episode this week for not your poll list, but it should be. This week it is just me and Bradley right now. Elizabeth is out sick at the moment. To kind of quickly go over some of the stuff we got, you have the one you've been excited about is Jurassic League.
Jurassic League.
I got to read that one too. I actually got through a lot this week, more than I thought.
How could you not enjoy this?
If it's not obvious enough, it's a mini series for Justice League, but they're all dinosaurs in dinosaur times.
Let's just talk about how Superman,
Super Sore. His name's Super Sore.
Sore is not just a dinosaur; he's a space dinosaur. So let's go down that rabbit hole. Where there's not just one.
Because it still starts out with him like being sent to Earth on like a spaceship, and like he's found by two humans who raise him as their own.
So let's not just talk about how there's a planet full of, sentient dinosaur heroes, but now there's also apparently alien dinosaur heroes.
It's a comic book. There's a million things like that already exist before this existed.
Oh, I'm not saying let's break logic. I'm just saying that's a rabbit hole.
Well, if we want to get to that, let's get to the Batman dinosaur.
Oh, Batman.
Here
we are. It's a good one.
So there's a quick little short story on each of the main heroes. So there's one for Batman, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, and Superman. Each getting like a quick villain that kind of gets interesting. I think actually no, except for Wonder Dawn, as the name is.
Doesn't have a villain startup.
Batman has Joker Zard. Aquaman. Now go to the worst named one. A lot of their names are all like dinosaur puns. Wonder Dawn, Super Sore.
This is the worst named one.
And we have Black Mantisaurus.
That's not even trying.
It's just the full name, and then you add Saurus.
Yeah, no, that one. I understand they were probably sitting there for a while trying to think of how to name this dude.
What rhymes with Black Manta?
And then there's Wonder Dawn.
Super Sore is still my favorite one.
And Super Saurus.
Of course, it ends with a tease for the actual next villain plot to actually kick things in gear, being the Bizarro dinosaur. What's his name in it?
Who? Oh.
Bizarro?
Brontozaro. And
Giganta. That's just the same name, isn't it?
No, I think it's Is it Giganta? And then
maybe.
But this is Giganta because it's based off the Giganotosaur.
All right. So quickly kind of go over some of the ones that I got to read through then. I got
Bronto.
I did really like that one. It's too many dinosaur puns in it still too though.
But I love it.
Yeah.
I'm so ready for the next 5
To go over the main book that I read, I had Captain America, the Symbol of Truth. This is part of the direct continuation they have from the previous Captain America book that they published. It's going off in the 2 series. There's Symbol of Truth, which is focused on Sam Wilson. Then another one's focused on Steve Rogers that hasn't come out yet. But this one is with Sam Wilson, and of course the new Falcon, since Sam Wilson's Captain America now, and his previous sidekick is now the Falcon. As they're kind of just jumping on board a train, they were told that there's smuggling super soldier serum.
There's one thing I can respect from the Avengers is that they promote from within.
That is true. I'm always still thrown off in that in the comics Sam Wilson has an actual Falcon, but in the movie it's just a little drone he has.
I don't think they could figure out how to make it understandable with how a real Falcon could work in their movies.
But they're trying to stop the whole shipment of super soldier serum. We get a flashback of Sam Wilson's knocked out to him with Misty. I'm not familiar with her character. I know she's shown up in Amazing Spider-Man recently, towards the end of I think it was Nick Spencer's run. But it's kind of her just giving a tip off of Sam Wilson, and of course, some kind of relationship they have. Of course, it's always unspoken in comics because you can't have them be happy and in a clearly defined relationship. That's too much. It's too much to do to clearly define things like that.
How dare you?
But anyways, they keep busting through the whole shipment yard container and everything. It's actually a lot of really nice kind of set pieces to go through and everything. I really do like the art in this. I think comic book art's kind of got to that point when it's really hard to get a modern comic book that has really bad art.
But when you see it, you're like, ooh.
When it's bad, you know it's bad. But it ends and they can't find any amount of actual cargo on it. The only thing they find is a shipment container that, hey, look, it's smuggling people. Falcon points out, his cousin from Mexico is actually in there for some reason, as they call over some people for help. One of the things that they do is they clarify it's a senator that comes in with Marines to help escort people out, but it's very much like a active, like, anti-immigration senator as they set up for it. So of course, to relate to earlier into the book, Sam Wilson's watching somebody from Wakanda kind of preaching everything. It's kind of talking about how, like, actively it's not perfect, but like trying to fix stuff that you can as Captain America, which is what he's trying. So it's setting up a lot of that for the future stuff. And then it ends with the White Wolf meets to hire Crossbones, because I guess all it takes to get Crossbones excited is, hey, you want to go topple a government? I don't think anything makes him more excited anymore.
To be fair, does sound kind of
it is pretty fun.
A good way to spend a weekend.
Toppling a government. What'd you do?
Topple a government.
To go over some of the other books I kind of quickly got, another big one that we got that I know I've been excited for along with Elizabeth is Grimm. The main premise is sort of like a Grim Reaper, if it's not obvious enough. You start out, of course, with somebody, dying. They're being taken to the afterlife for it. Did you read this one, or just Jurassic? Okay.
I did read it. Read it today. On New Comic Book Day.
There's a ton of covers. Of course, foil covers, which are always nice to have. Shiny. But the main premise is just, again, it's going through this Grim Reaper as, towards the end of the book, she's explaining throughout the whole course of the book to this one person that just died that can't seem to accept it. Taken to the afterlife, River Styx or whatever kind of version of it that actually exists for them. She's like, I don't really care what you call it. It's just what's happening.
To be honest, I thought it was like a Ruby spinoff.
It's Ruby Grim Reaper.
That's what, almost because she
has that scythe. Yeah,
she's red scythe, and I thought it was.
Well, you find out when she takes him to the afterlife, or I guess purgatory, where you just have the one big waiting room of wait for your number to get called, but it's probably never going to be called. He pickpockets her, as she finds out later. She can't find her scythe is not on her anymore after the dude jumped her. So she meets up with some of the other Grim Reapers, as we see. They kind of have a little, I don't know, a Grim Reaper break room where they kind of break up. They meet up to go try and find him as he's taking her scythe, as he sees him outside of his ex-girlfriend's window. And she's like, yeah, what are you doing here? They can't even see you. There's no point. She's chasing him, trying to get the scythe back, when she's stopped for attacking nothing. And it kind of just ends that abrupt cliffhanger of, oh no, he can see me. That's not supposed to happen.
Yeah, no, I thought it was super exciting. I'm ready for the next issue.
Well, I definitely want to wait for this one to see more what comes out of it, but I think I'm going to stick with it for a little bit. And then quickly some other ones. They're all Dynamite, Red Sonja books. There's Vampirella Strikes, which is, it's set in a world where where like demons, monsters, and humans are all living together. And then she's like a private investigator. The next issue for Dynamite Never Dies, which is the big zombie crossover that they have between all the different Dynamite ones. I know this is a variant cover for, I think, the movie Species, although I'm completely unfamiliar with that. They do a lot of horror homages. Immortal Red Sonja, issue 2 came out, so I read issue 1 with it as well. It's introducing like Arthurian myths to it. She's wearing a chainmail that's possessed by the spirit of King Arthur. He's like, to free yourself from this chainmail you can't take off anymore, you should go here and find Merlin and then do things like that in this cursed land. It's kind of like walking through this hidden land and stumbling upon traps. The last one I really like is Red Sitha. This is kind of a leap forward in time off of the current Mirka and Dolfo Red Sonja run, where she has Sitha kind of still as a child. This is in the future where she's essentially just doing Red Sonja things now as Red Sitha, but now she's a demigod and has a sword with magical fire on it.
Happens.
I would kind of quickly go over a lot of stuff that we just read for this week, but
that was the other half of my weekend after I toppled the government.
You read comic books?
Oh, I became a demigod, got a flaming sword.
Oh, okay. Flaming sword, demigod.
Whatever.
All right, well, then, thank you guys for watching.